It is 00:00, and you are listening to the Best of Bond with your hosts Tylord and Wubs.
I must say, it's lethal.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Best of Bond with your hosts Wubs and Tylord. I'm Tylord, and we're happy to be here today to review and discuss Tomorrow Never Dies from 1997, directed by Roger Spottiswoode. And I know Pierce Brosnan got in bed with a couple ladies in this. Did you, Spottiswoode? No. Anyway, how you doing, Wubs?
Good.
Yeah.
This is kind of the golden age for me because these were so early for me when I was a kid. So I'm excited to be here and talk about this one.
Yeah, excellent. And we're happy to be back again with returning Dave the LOCH and Thumb Brothers, Super Thumb Bros, or Golden Thumb or Gold Thumb, however you want to call them. We're back with Thumb. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks again, guys, for having me on. Looking forward to another Pierce Brosnan Bond here.
Yeah, excellent. Now this is his second outing. I wanted to ask you guys what your history is with this, or what you thought about it when you first saw it, and when was the first time you saw it. But I remember this is one I'm very, very ashamed of, because I've seen every Bond movie in the theater ever since Living Daylights. I've seen all of them, but this one I didn't see this one at the theater. I think because it was around the time I was graduating high school, and I was doing a lot of stuff, and I was in judo a lot, and I was like working out every day, and I was worried about trying to get women and all that. And I don't know why. And my dad even called me. Like, my dad and I would watch all the Bond movies. He said, "Oh, me and my buddies are gonna go watch opening night. Tomorrow Never Dies. Can you go?" I go, "Oh no, I gotta work out or whatever." Or whatever. I was getting ready for college or community college or whatever. Like, and then I regret it so much that I missed this one, because I didn't see it until it came out on VHS. And I don't know if it's this time in my life when I was probably at the lowest point of my Bond fandom. And I don't know if it wasn't Pierce Brosnan, because I thought he was awesome, but I think maybe it was because I was such a Timothy Dalton fan and Roger Moore. Like, I was kind of stuck back in that era. I don't know if it was that, or it was just my time in life. Like, or maybe this was the Star Wars and Lord of the Rings movies were coming out. I don't know what it was, but I wasn't super hyped to see this one. And then when I did finally see it, I thought it was pretty awesome, but it didn't really blow me away like Living Daylights or License to Kill. Or even.
I'm glad you've said that, though, because there's so many films where I'm like, I can't believe I didn't see them at the cinema. I've got no real reason why. I'm like, why did I go see this film that I love at the cinema? So I'm glad that it's not just me, but at least you had good excuses. Judo and things about women. So
No, I don't know. I'm very ashamed of it, though, because we'll talk about it later how I feel about it now. But what about you guys? Let's start with Wubs. What was it like to first see this one? What was your opinion of it? What's your history with this?
It's funny you didn't see this one in the theater because you've seen so many of them. This was the first one I saw in the theater when I was a kid, and I was like 11 when it came out, so it was a huge deal for me to go see that movie, and I loved it right away. I thought it was funny and entertaining, and like, I wasn't as critical back then because I don't think I'd probably even seen. Actually, no, there's no way I had seen all the Bond films when I saw this one. So I really enjoyed it and was entertained. And it's one that has always been that way for me. When I see it again, it's always just a fun movie. It's not, we'll get into it in more details. I'm not going to try to argue, oh, it's the best one or it has this amazing plot or something. No, none of that. It's just a really entertaining movie.
Yeah. Absolutely. How about you, Thumb? What did you think about this when you first saw it, and what's your history with this movie?
Yeah, it's another James Bond movie that I did not see in the theater, like GoldenEye. I guess as much as I would like to, I think this would have been a cool movie to see in the theater. Yeah, I remember I was in middle school, and there was this classmate that kept talking about this movie, uh, and just quoting the whole movie,
Yeah.
for the most part. And it's like, well, I have not yet seen the movie yet. And this same classmate would do the same for GoldenEye for a little bit, not as much, but it was just kind of annoying. But I mean, I mean, that's cool, but it's like, hey, that's cool. You saw the movie. So I guess that was a big thing. Like, if you're a kid in middle school and you saw a movie and nobody didn't, I guess you could rub it in. You're like, hey, go wait till next summer to see the next James Bond movie, which most likely, which I did. So I had to wait like almost a whole year to see it,
Cool.
and I saw it on the small screen. So,
but you did. But it didn't impact you hard, or you seen many before that? Was that one of the first
well,
ones
at
you
this
saw?
time, at this time, I didn't. This was when I was still like, this was still about around the same time I was starting to watch that. I know I mentioned last time with GoldenEye. It was around 1998 was when I started to watch Dr. No. Yeah, so it was around that same time. Like GoldenEye really piqued my interest, and so I started to watch James Bond movies sort of like chronologically. At that time too.
Yeah, I watch them I watch them like pornography, and go ahead, Dave. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say.
Oh my goodness! I mispronounced something. I was such an idiot. Oh my goodness.
Well, I was just going to say.
No, you said it right. It just made me think. Yeah. Go ahead.
If you didn't get to see a film for a whole year, though, that's such a time period, though. If you didn't live in that time period where you had to wait months and months and months before you could get to see something, it's such a, because like now so many things just appear online, or you get the DVD quite quick. When you had to wait a full year, that's a long time to watch something, especially if your friends are like, I've seen this, you haven't.
Yeah,
right.
It's not like now where it comes out on the streaming services right as it's showing at the theater.
Oh yeah, like sometimes the same day or something.
Yeah. But what about you, Dave? What's your history? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
I was really lucky when I saw this movie, because I was like just properly regaining into James Bond. I've always been into James Bond, but I was like, just proper, like, just really getting into it. But when my local cinema showed it, and this was the biggest fluke of all time, I just literally just got a ticket to see it randomly, and it wasn't the actual BMW motorbike. It wasn't the real one from the movie, but they got the same one in the foyer when I went to see it. And when I walked up the steps, it was there just before the screen when I went in. And so I was just like, wow, this is cool. And then just everything about that movie, because like I'd seen Michelle Yeoh in the Jackie Chan movies and things like that, and I just loved, I thought Pierce Brosnan was such a cool looking James Bond, so I was just all in for this movie. And like I say, we'll probably get into the finer details later on, but yeah, it was just perfect timing for me. It was just like everything about it just clicked for me. But yeah, it was a good experience.
Oh, good, yeah. Did you have some? Go ahead, Thumb. Sorry, go ahead, Thumb. Sorry about that.
Because Dave, you mentioned Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah.
And did you just like Jackie Chan movies, or I may have heard wrong.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was watching loads of Jackie Chan movies, and so like when Michelle Yeoh went from Police Story 3, when I could recognize her from Jackie Chan movies, I was like, oh wow, that's awesome, because it was just like now it'd be like a big deal that they cast this cool martial arts star or something, but I was just like, that's her from Jackie Chan.
Yeah. I think it was also Super Cop she was in with him.
Yeah.
And,
Police Story 3, yeah.
And I know around that time, I think the Jackie Chan movie came out a year after. It was called Who Am I? Which was sort of like a James Bond kind of movie, in a way. Yeah. And I remember I was still in junior high, and I know some classmates were really excited to see that movie be released. I know it came out a year after Tomorrow Never Dies, but I know that there's some hype around that movie too. So that's cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, Who Am I though is such a great movie, and there's a set piece in that movie still to this day. I think it's one of the most breathtaking stunts of all time, where it looks like Jackie Chan is going to get kicked off the side of this like skyscraper, and he just stops himself. And every single time I watch that, I have to catch my breath because I'm like, oh my god, he's going to die. It's just like, and when he slides down the side of that building, it's just like, oh my god.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love that scene. Yeah, in the fight before, or that same fight right then. Yeah, he's fighting the two guys. Yeah, I love that movie a lot.
Yeah. Oh, speaking.
It's a good one.
Yeah, sorry to go off the subject, but speaking of Pierce and Jackie Chan and Martin Campbell, the director of GoldenEye, did you ever see that new one? It's called the new one with Jackie Chan, Pierce Brosnan. It's directed by Martin Campbell. It's a newer action movie.
Was it called November Man?
No, that one's pretty good too. But this
it's something different.
This one, I think Jackie Chan's the star, and he's an older man, and Pierce Brosnan's with the government or something, and they're trying to get him. Like Jackie Chan's on the run. Is Yeah, I should have seen it too. Yeah, it has all those ingredients like Pierce Brosnan, Martin Campbell, Jackie Chan, but I don't know why I didn't see it. Not even know the name of it.
I would not ever seen it. That's wrong.
That's The Foreigner.
The Foreigner. Right? The Foreigner. Have you seen that one, Wubs?
Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. That's the one I definitely got to watch.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Anyway, but when we went into this one the first time watching it, I wanted to get your guys' opinion on the opening pre-title sequence. We get the gun barrel. The first time David Arnold's score blasts on the screen, do 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 do, bang da 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 da, and then here comes the opening sequence, which is very action heavy. It's almost like Rambo or so. There's so much action, and I love the little war room back in England. The admiral's there, like, we're gonna nuke it or whatever, and then they have a new. I don't know if it's supposed to be Freddie Gray, but they have a new Minister of Defense. Oh, and then they have the guy from Resident Evil is the new Chief of Staff. He's kind of like a young, handsome guy. Usually they're all a bunch of older guys with jowls, but they have the young, handsome guy is the Chief of Staff. And they're all back in the war room, and they're in contact with Bond, and he's on this mission. He's surveying this bizarre, terrorist deal going on top of this icy mountain, and then they see there's like a nuclear missile there after the admiral already orders a nuclear strike on there, so Bond has to get away, or he has to get the plane away with a nuclear weapon on it. So some great action, some shoot 'em up stuff. He walks up right away, and I think this is one of the reasons I didn't like this era. I don't know why, it just kind of turned me off. Is that first guy? It's a really cool scene. He goes up and punches the guy and says, "That's a terrible habit." When the guy's smoking, like the fucking Bond smoke, like that's what Bond does is smoke. But it was kind of like this anti-smoking propaganda. And I'm not into smoking or anything, but Bond is a smoker. But I don't know. It was cool.
He smokes a cigar in the first one.
Yeah, he smokes a cigar. He smokes a cigar in our favorite one too. Die Another Day. Anyway,
right.
But anyway, it was cool the way he did it. Like, you don't see Bond, the guy smokes, and you see Bond, filthy habit. So pretty much Pierce Brosnan can say anything, and it's cool. He could say like.
And he takes Moneypenny the cigar, and the world is not enough.
What do you want to say that about though? Because I've heard a few people say about that when he says about the filthy habit thing.
Yeah.
But I really feel like he's almost being ironic that he's like.
Yeah, I think that is
a filthy habit.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah. He knows he does it as well.
Yeah,
I think
it's a
so
good point.
That's I think you're right though. I just know I was kind of younger and foolish, so that kind of turned me off. But I mean, it's cool either way. But what do you guys think of this opening pre-title sequence? I'll start with you, Wubs.
Yeah, well, I like it a lot. I think it's really it's a decent. Here's the thing about this movie in general, and even just this intro is a perfect example of it. This movie had the very unenviable task of following GoldenEye.
Yeah.
So basically everything that we're gonna see had to be compared directly to GoldenEye, which I think you guys can give me your opinions on this, but I think if this film had been anywhere else in the canon besides the film that had to follow GoldenEye, it would be so much more well regarded than it is. I think that that's a huge part of why it just got so much hate for so long in general. But I actually love the intro to this. I think it's hilarious, cutting back and forth with the Ministry of Defense and the admirals thing. Like, there's a lot of action in this sequence. There's a lot of comedy too. So yeah, I think it's fun.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It kind of takes me back to like Thunderball, but it wouldn't be live like them interacting with Bond, but you know, M's always there pulling for her guy to get through it, and then the military's all, oh no, we gotta take action or whatever. I just thought it was pretty cool. What about you, Thumb? What do you think of the opening pre-title sequence?
I have a couple things that I liked a lot, and then maybe a couple gripes, if that's okay.
Yeah. No, that's what
we love the gripe. Yeah. That's what we're here for. That's the juicy content.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys said, like it is a tough follow-up to GoldenEye. I think for me it's like who's this white knight? You know, like I think we the audience could already kind of see that, okay, that's James Bond. Like they're trying to make it like, you know, it's like, who's this white knight? It wasn't really that same reveal. Like it just didn't really have that same impact for me. And then I guess like the whole war room scene could be a little bit cliche, especially with the American general being that that gung-ho guy, like just destroy it all, you know, just who cares about, you know, like it was a little you know, like I get that's the James Bond, like they make fun of that a little bit, but
well, I think it would have made more sense if he'd have been American, but he was British.
Oh really? That
yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was the British admiral. Yeah. But he's like your typical American Hollywood general.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess now, and then Bond takes control of the plane a little bit too easily. I think a little bit too conveniently. Okay, now with those little nitpicks of gripes out of the way, I did like when I did like it. Kind of had like a Top Gun feel to it, like the 1985 Top Gun, where he's with this not co-pilot, but I like that trope where he takes over the plane and he's like fighting now.
Yeah.
See, I like when he's in the plane. That's where I think the action's really good, the suspense, because he's fighting this other guy, and then there's a scene where he's like on top of his plane's on top of someone else. I thought that was a nice little stunt, kind of like a nice like something Maverick would do, and a really good subtle references. You know, M. This may I know it's maybe a little bit cheesy, but she does stick up for Bond. She kind of says like when the general's like, "What is your man doing?" and she's like, "He's doing his job." I was like, okay, that's cool, because in GoldenEye she was a little bit hard on him. And then here she kind of sticks up for him.
Yeah, she softened up a lot in this one to Bond.
She's a lot nicer to him because he saved the Bank of England at the end of GoldenEye, so you know her pension was protected, you know, because of him taking out 006.
I guess one last thought, like, where is that missile going though? To like. I've seen a movie several times. Like, where's that lone missile gonna be hitting? It seemed
it's gonna be hitting right where they are, right at the terrorist bazaar. That's why he had to get the plane out, because it had a nuclear weapon on it.
Okay. No, I mean, I love movies that have planes and stuff, and James Bond is no stranger to movies that either opening scenes or ending scenes that deal with planes. So I think this was. I know GoldenEye had a plane not as big as this one, but. Yeah, this was another James Bond movie that has a cool action set piece with a plane.
Yeah.
But I think what's quite good though as well, sometimes though, if you do just pick up on scenes that you don't quite like, because I will watch like pretty much anything, I will defend almost anything, but sometimes it's the smallest little thing that will like take me out of a scene, or it could be like the tiniest little bit of dialogue, or if I see something in a scene where I think, oh, that piece of machinery wouldn't operate like that, or like if somebody's like holding a gun in a weird way, or just says something that's like not quite right. And so I kind of like, cause even though like I like try and praise up movies and like see the good in things, I do kind of like sometimes just like, yeah, that wasn't quite right for me. So it's kind of cool that like you think, yes, but yeah, it's good to like, you know, the scene about M saying he's doing his job. That's a great line.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. You got anything more, Dave, or do you have any thoughts on the opening pre-title?
Well, basically just echoing what you guys have said, but I thought it was really cool, like just like really compact and like just gets you into that like sort of the cycle of the movie. And I love the fact though that like M and the captain, and my mind's gone completely blank, but the captain of the boat, I love how they were in like a British sitcom together. Yeah, and so that's one thing like with me. I'm always like, it's those two people.
Yeah, I think Gerard Butler was in one of the. I don't know if he was in the ship that blew up or they got destroyed at the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed him, but he was in there. I guess there was a bunch of prominent English television actors on that boat.
Well, you know, the general and M both being in As Time Goes By, the British.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, that's my good one, Wubs. But that's the one thing. A slightly different take with me being British is that so many of these people will turn up in like British adverts or like you'll see them in newspapers all the time or something. So yeah, good call. As Time Goes By. Nice one, Wubs. Though I really appreciate you saying that because I mean mine went completely blank.
But then after that action scene, he ejects the guy out into the other plane. He's wrestling with a guy as he's avoiding a heat-seeking missile or just a missile. And as the big nuclear or the big strike is going to happen, all that happens. Anyway, Bond saves the day, and then the camera goes to the back of the plane, and the engine blows up like the screen, and then it goes into that song, the Sheryl Crow song. And man, I've always liked this song. It's a lot different. I know a lot of people would have preferred. I'll ask you guys if you prefer the Katie Lang or the Sheryl Crow when we talk about the music right now. But I don't know. I always just the Katie Lang song just hits so hard. It's like the one with. It kind of reminds me of the Pretenders' John Barry song that "Where Has Everyone Gone." That's like my favorite Bond song. It kind of hits like that hard, like with all that brass, that wah 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 wah. It's so good, like the perfect Bond theme for that time. But the Sheryl Crow one that goes into for the main titles. I know this is Wub's favorite title sequence, but the Sheryl Crow song is just so different. Like sometimes we need something like that, like "Live and Let Die" or a song like that. This is just so different. It feels very Bondian to me, though, and of course the lyrics are very Bondian. It's very different. I really like it. I think I prefer this one to the Katie Lang one. I love them both though, but it goes into this wonderful title sequence. Daniel Kleinman is the first. This is the second one with Daniel Kleinman, so it's very our boy. What was his name? They did all the other ones up through License to Kill.
Oh, Maurice Bender.
Maurice Bender, yeah. It's kind of Maurice Bender-esque, but now we have all this new technology, and it just is so visually appealing. This title sequence. What do you think about your favorite title sequence in this? And you can throw in what your opinion is on which song you like better too. I'll start with Wubs.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for remembering. Yeah, this is my favorite title sequence.
Yeah.
I love the X-ray vision of all the guns. You can see, you know, the different you know, just the rounds being loaded and the mags and everything. Like, it's so cool. X-ray guns before he gets the specs and World is Not Enough. You know, it's sort of a precursor to that, you know. And I really like just as you said, it's very different from all the ones that came before it. And they use really clear shots of some of the actresses in it too. It's not just silhouettes. I love the silhouettes. I love the Maurice Bender silhouette intros. Obviously those are kind of timeless is the wrong word, but they feel timeless. You know, they're very much tied to the 60s and 70s, but still it's very cool. And I just well, I just appreciated how different it was. I think it hit me more too. Again, I'm biased. I saw it when I was 11 in the theater, so it's like, wow, that was amazing. You know, that was the first time I saw a Bond intro on the screen, the big screen. You know, it was just so larger than life. I was so happy when we did the Bond song video, our favorite songs with Omega. I was so happy he chose this as one of his songs because I was not expecting anyone to pick it, frankly. But I love this song so much as an intro song. I love the really heavy piano right at the beginning, driving into it, and then you get the mix of a rock song with the Bond symphony, you know, which is my favorite kind because, you know, Garbage is one of my favorites. The next one we're gonna have, like, I love that style so much. Rock mixed with the orchestration, I think is awesome. So yeah. Sorry, that was maybe more detailed than you wanted, but yeah, I love this intro.
Oh, heck yeah. How about you, Thumb? What do you think about the intro and the song?
I know, like, Sheryl Crow was sort of a big thing in the 90s. Like, I know she was kind of not like mainstream, but like, yeah, I know, like, Sheryl Crow was, like,
she was pretty
big, relatively. So yeah, I mean, I like the song, and she has a good voice, and the only thing I could really add is I think the AI, not the AI, the CGI on it looks a little off to me. That's just me being kind of nitpicky, because I think it does come a little bit weird to me when you look at it now, as like, I don't know, maybe I'm being too nitpicky there, but.
I think it hasn't aged well, right? Like, it's compared to new stuff. It's like you could watch the Matrix now, and like it looked incredible when it came out, right? Like, there was nothing that even remotely could touch it when it came out in terms of like effects and CGI and stuff. And now it looks kind of low budget compared to back.
Yeah, that's what it looked. Yeah, that's how I kind of saw it when watching it recently. But yeah, if people like it, I mean, I think that's cool. I think it fits the theme of the movie a little bit, at least with the villain too, because he's really, you know, I mean, I guess when you get there, it's but yeah, that's all I could say about it. But yeah, thanks for hearing me out on it.
Oh no, yeah.
Wow,
No, I could,
to be fair, they're good points.
Because at the time, like, I might be a little bit older than you guys, so at the time, like, when I saw that, it seemed like so far ahead of the Maurice Binder stuff. But I guess I can see now, like, after, like, the newer ones, like Spectre and all that, like, it might not, like, be on that level, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay.
But I think the good thing about all the Bond themes and the Bond tile sequences, I don't think there's a truly terrible one. So it's all truly subjective whether you like them or not. Because there's none where you can tell they were done in like 20 minutes and, like, you know, they just like literally just put the first thing they wanted
even
to
though
do.
I think Maurice Binder did do him in 20 minutes before the movie came
out. That wasn't that kind of Binder's thing. Like...
So he was really good at it. He could do it like last minute.
But the thing we should remember too about the 90s is, like, this is a period where all these big studios are starting to use CGI more. Like, they really don't know what they're doing. They're just really starting to get into that stuff. So that's another reason why, like, certain things like that are computer generated at this time, in the 80s too, to a lesser extent, but they're really starting to use a lot of CGI stuff in the 90s. And it doesn't, obviously it all didn't age very well.
Well, me and my friend, this is a complete aside, I'll just say it really quickly, but me and my friend always joke about it, but there was a local band to where I grew up called Alternate, like a dance rave act, where they were on the local radio station, and he said, we're going to do a song in an hour, and he was asking people to, like, phone in and suggest ideas, and people would, like, provide vocals over the phone, and they would, like, do, like completely, like, sample people and, like, do little keyboard things. And then at the end of this hour, they said, we've completed this song, we've done this song in an hour. And me and my mate always said, Yeah, it sounds like it as well. It was like literally one of the worst songs. You could tell it was like done in an hour. It was like we've done a song in an hour. It's like, yeah, I guess.
But sometimes that goes in a totally different direction though. Like some artists are really like some of their best stuff has been done, or like they'll write a song in like 10 minutes. But one example, just on the top of my head, Billy Corgan wrote Today for the Siamese Dream album in like 15 minutes in an airport. I think that was.
Oh, wow, really? Oh,
yeah. I guess if those juices are flowing,
yeah.
Well, I remember Glenn Frey wrote The Heaters On off Beverly Hills Cop. He said he wrote it in 20 minutes, and it's like one of the greatest 80s pop songs of all time.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Now, obviously, these are very talented, people, very talented musicians. So it may not be fair to compare them with everybody else.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. What about, you got anything else to add about the song, or Dave? Or?
Well, what's really funny about this, though, and I think when we've talked about it before, but I always think it's quite funny because I feel like with pop music, I'm really forgiving that, like, I love, like, really frivolous, like, pop music, like, really, like, chart-friendly, like, radio, like...
So wait, Dave, you're still holding your breath for that Spice Girls Bond theme, then.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Are you waiting for that one?
Quite as it's kept, yeah. But what's really funny is I really like Sheryl Crow, and I really love that kind of style of music. But this is one Bond theme that I think it's perfectly fine, and like I said about like the intros and a lot of the Bond themes, there's none that are terrible, but for some reason I've never really revisited the song very much. It's like one of my least played Bond themes. The K.D. Lang end credits song, I think, is next level amazing. Like to me, I can't believe that song doesn't get covered more. You don't hear on the radio. To me, that K.D. Lang end credit song is just, it's a perfect Bond song as you could get, really. But the Sheryl Crow one, it's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's a completely fine title song, and there's nothing. Anybody who says it's bad doesn't know what they're talking about. But for some reason, I just don't gravitate to it. I don't know why. But then again, I like a whole lot. So what do I know?
Well, there's something I wanted to. You made me think of there. I forgot to mention the Sheryl Crow intro song. Kind of goes along with what I felt at the end of the movie, which was, it hit me watching it this time. This film is very similar to The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute here. Yeah.
Yeah, and not to give anything away, but like, and I think that also, in a way, is why, like, subconsciously, I've always thought of Sheryl Crow and Carly Simon together, and like, and I know these two intro songs are very different. Yeah. But Tomorrow Never Dies, the Sheryl Crow song, it's still a love song. Yeah. And that's what's kind of interesting about it. I feel like it does kind of tie in with The Spy Who Loved Me in that way.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll go with that.
And and before we talk about Bond themselves, I usually go into the actor who plays Bond at this point, but I think we'll talk about the plot first, because after these title sequence, we have one of these classic Bond moments, like you're talking about The Spy Who Loved Me, or For Your Eyes Only, or Moonraker, where there's like some sort of hijacked or terrorist act, and we get the setup for the plot of this. Earlier on, we saw Mr. Gupta with the what is that device called? That's global positioning. It's like one of the MacGuffin devices. that little device. But anyway, with that, they I guess they can track the sub. So they're trying to set up this war between China and the U.S. so the media can cover it. Elliot Carver. So we
China
don't.
And the UK.
Yeah. And then so we don't see Bond for a while. It's very this movie really it's really embraces everything that made Bond movies awesome, with Roger Moore's era and Sean Connery's era, because it has one of these long sequences without Bond, where it's showing the setup for like the villain's plot, and it feels very Spy Who Loved Me. And I almost felt like I was watching a remake of Spy Who Loved Me when all the seamen are in the vessel there, and they're being attacked, and it's also kind of sad, like it's kind of going in slow motion, and they're all the big drill thing is going into the ship. Another sort of callback to Spy Who Loved Me, like with the big tanker that swallows the ship, but this thing has a big drill in it that drills into but yeah, it feels so a classic Bond, but also modern. This is like this is like the first one I feel that's more like a modern Bond movie. I think Thumb and I were talking about, like, GoldenEye kind of feels like both. This is like modern Bond from here on out. But I mean, it still embraces everything that made the other Bond movies good. And that's why I like this scene. It feels a lot like something from Spy Who Loved Me or For Your Eyes Only, or even Thunderball. And we have a big blonde henchman. I guess we'll talk about him later, kind of reminiscent of Necros or Eric Kriegler.
Nope.
And
just the next in a long line of blonde German Nazi sort of thug types.
Yeah. Then, so we get this long sequence setting up the plot here, and once again, sort of like For Your Eyes Only, there's a long sequence where we don't even see Bond, and but what do you guys think about the plot of this movie? Do you think it's kind of like been there, done that, or do you think it's kind of new and creative? What do you think, Wubs?
I think it's the Diet Coke of Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
Right? Because Spy Who Loved Me was all about, all right, let's get some nukes and blow up the whole world and make the land under the sea, you know, and be singing like we're in Little Mermaid, right? That was kind of the singing with Sebastian.
Yeah.
And this one is like, it's basically the same plot. It's just we want to start an international war, World War III, essentially, but not to to destroy humanity on the surface of the planet and reshape the world. It's just to make money from ratings on a TV network, which on the surface sounds really weak. But if you think about it, Tomorrow Never Dies is essentially a documentary of the real world. I feel like, in terms of like what's happened with media in the last 20 years. Like it's so prophetic of a film. It's amazing because the media has incited all of these different, things and blown so many things out of proportion. And that's just what we know about. I feel like this movie is perhaps the most accurate Bond film in terms of like something that could and sort of does already happen,
Yeah. You're spot on.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, we should maybe give it some credit for that. I'm not saying it's a better plot than Spy Who Loved Me. I don't really think it is in terms of fiction.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate that, they weren't afraid to kind of point the finger at mass media and how dangerous it can be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then, how about you, Thon? What you okay with this plot, or is this one of your nitpicks? What do you think of the plot and the setup for the plot in this?
I guess this did kind of like predate Mission Impossible a little bit, because like I know Mission Impossible, it has a little bit like a Mission Impossible feel to it. Because like I feel like Mission Impossible has a plot kind of like this, where actually the newer Mission Impossible films, actually their plot's more kind of like that when you think about it. Like, he has to go in the submarine. So I guess that does predate. I mean, I wasn't like too crazy about the scene itself, but I thought it was a cool reveal for a villain.
Yeah.
Especially him try to get it had like a sadistic tone to it.
Yeah.
Like when he wanted to know the exact number of sailors killed.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like the tone. I was like, wow, that's kind of hardcore in a way. You feel bad for the sailors. And,
and he's so casual about it. He's sort of like Zorin when he's dealing with just the numbers and stats and death.
Oh yeah, like when he kills
and that even reminds me
miners
when Stamper was machine gunning it seemed like the scene from View to a Kill when Zorin's mowing down all of his own men. It was kind of like that. It kind of gave me that vibe when Stamper
was. Which is a little bit of a gripe though for me, a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Just because like I know Roger Moore. Like one thing he said about A View to a Kill, like he felt like a James Bond movie. Like when when Zoran killed all those miners at the end with the machine gunning them. He said it felt like it was a little bit like it doesn't felt like that was the tone of James Bond. So like I felt like maybe the tone's a little bit too serious for its own good.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, I don't know which I prefer more. That one was kind of more nonchalant about it. Like, yeah, it's just like those movies were kind of more less, what do you call it, less melodramatic or less pretentious back then. And then all of a sudden Zoran's shooting all those guys, and it had a really weird, disturbing feel because it was just so nonchalant. This one, at least like they're playing like sad music or whatever.
But you know, the thing related to that, though, is like you could make the argument that throughout time, all the Bond films have gradually become darker in tone. Yeah, or a lot of them anyway. Oh, yeah. With the exception of Die Another Day, of course, which is why it's fantastic. But we'll talk about that later.
Well, yeah.
It's nice to see anybody even half jokingly stick up for Die Another Day. So it's like,
well, that's why you keep coming back, huh, Dave? Just everybody like defend Die Another Day no matter what.
That'll do for me.
Yeah. Anything else, though? We're going to move on to Dave.
Yeah, I think that's it for now. Okay. Yeah, one last thing was just I just liked how the villain was kind of like in the shadows, even it was very briefly.
Yeah.
I love that, and you see his glasses. I thought that was a really good shot.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
What do you think about this plot setup and the plot overall in this, Dave?
Well, what's really funny, we've probably said it on some of the other Bond discussions, but I always thought this film was so ahead of the curve, like I think we just touched on it just there, like it's almost like a documentary almost, but like to me, I feel like even the little bit of film studies that I did at college, and like once you can analyze like the way media works, this film works so well, even if it's nothing controversial, even if it's just like an advert for like gambling or drinking beer or fast food. Like once you see how media works, it's like you can really see how manipulative they are. And so it's like it just works on so many levels. But I'm sort of glad in a way that I'm almost like half and half that I didn't laugh, and I was also found it hilarious when we were talking about big blonde henchmen and seamen. To me, that's hilarious.
Right? I was thinking the same thing.
So it's kind of like a Roger Moore James Bond movie, but super serious. So that's my viewpoint on it, really.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like a more darkened tone, but not in actual plot.
Yeah.
Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
excellent, yeah.
Because, Stromberg is totally crazy, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But it's just the tone of the movie is so much more lighthearted because it's Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. but
as well, how good is Spy Who Loved Me, where you can have a villain that literally wants to kill everybody, and you can have a car that is a submarine. So, I mean, what's
pretty
not
great.
to like about that?
It's pretty great, isn't it?
Yeah. But as far as Bond goes, this isn't Roger Moore, but he's probably the closest thing to Roger Moore. Pierce Brosnan in this movie, we're super glad to have him back after GoldenEye, of course. I wish he would have done another 3 movies, to be honest, but this is his second outing. Yeah. I think he's even more cocky and suave in this one than GoldenEye, and comfortable in his role. It seems like he's having a lot of fun, and he has a range of emotions too. Like he can play it very straight and emotional and serious in this, but then he can kind of be on the comedy side in this. Some of the scenes with Wei Lin, he's almost like comedy. But Pierce Brosnan's in this. I think he's as cool as ever in this.
Oh yeah. Pierce Brosnan in this film is so good.
Yeah. What, you got any thoughts on him in this, Wubs?
Yeah, he's great. I think. I like Brosnan in all of his movies. I think he's awesome. I mean, he's Yeah, I don't have any notes really. I know he gets some hate sometimes because people think like, oh, he's like the pretty boy Bond. He doesn't. No, there's never a hair out of place or whatever. You know, it's not as realistic. But I don't know. I think that it just kind of sort of came along at maybe a time when, uh, in a way, this was like the end of Hollywood glamour.
Yeah.
You know, in the '90s.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You make that argument. So I think part of it's just the time he happened to be the character.
Yeah. What about you, Thumb? What do you think of Pierce in this role, or in the second movie?
Yeah, he's still dishing out his puns. Like he did a lot of, like, I think that's he had some good one-liners, and like I like when his puns when he's all tied up in handcuffs with and then he's like, I forgot the exact puns he was doing, but he was like, it seems like we've really gone close to each other. I just think it's kind of funny. It's still he just still has that like balance of like keeping things like serious, but then still kind of funny at the same time. And I might be a little bit ahead of myself by bringing up Q, but like I still think Pierce Brosnan and Q have such great chemistry with each other. Like they,
I agree.
I really do, and I think I guess if you are going to go to Q later at some point, but I just love the whole scene of Q.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Even though it's short, but it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I do think like he may have the best interactions with Q of any of them.
Yeah.
And you could tell by his facial expressions that Pierce Brosnan is really enjoying it. Like he's really relishing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the car, he's like, oh yeah, the usual wear and tear. Like yes, I mean, I can't complain too much about Pierce Brosnan because it's his own style. Like I think that's what makes all these movies so great. Is just that or rewatchable, all these movies, because each James Bond actor brings their own unique skill set, their own unique perspective to the characters, and I just think it's just great because if all the characters and actors were all the same, it wouldn't be as exciting to rewatch these.
Yeah.
We'd be so bored by now, right? If it was all the same people.
Yeah.
I think. And some people, I think that's why some people didn't like Roger, because he was in the role so long.
Yeah.
Almost 15 years,
yeah, almost,
right, Tyler?
Yeah, almost, yeah. Like 13 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's a long run.
Yeah.
But I mean, I loved Roger. I didn't have a problem with it, but I do think that people are always interested in something fresh, right?
Yeah.
John, that's a really good point about his interactions with Q, and I've literally never thought this before, but it might have been interesting if Daniel Craig had done at least one film with Desmond Llewellyn, because that's one of the few things that didn't carry over, that like he never got to work with the proper Q, air quotes Q. But good call about how he interacts with Desmond Llewellyn, because it's pretty spot on.
For me personally, that's one of the hardest things about the Craig films is like I never really got into the new Q. I always thought like, God, they just took like the nerdiest trope they could, and they made this sort of pathetic kind of character out of it. Like he's just not as, I mean, not that Q is used. I mean, obviously he does some really cool stuff in the Craig films, but he's just I think about that compared to Desmond going all the way to fake Peru or whatever to help Bond in License to Kill. Like I don't think this guy would have done it.
Yeah. No, it's
That's a good point.
Yeah. Then another thing I forgot to mention was he does the. I think he might be on the same level as Timothy, like with the serious moments, and he has a lot of, he puts in a lot more emotion, like when he's struggling or fighting, in his roles, like I guess Sean Connery did, but something about we seem like we get a bigger range of emotions with Pierce, and even that scene when he finds Paris Carver dead. Like and there's kind of like, it doesn't draw on and on like Daniel Craig does the sad and moping around and sulking, but like that moment when he finds her dead, it kind of reminded me of when Lazenby was embracing Tracy at the end of On Her Majesty's Secret Service,
It's more emotional.
Yeah, when we get and then we'll talk about that scene in a minute. I really love that scene. There's a lot of different there's a lot of ranges of emotions in that scene too. But what about? Sorry, I skipped you, Dave. What do you think about Pierce Brosnan?
Oh yeah, I didn't think you'd skip me. I just thought you were just making a point. But no, Pierce Brosnan in this though, I think he's like, I really feel like you said earlier on, I think he's properly getting into that role and he's really comfortable and just, I think in between, I think all his 4 films he's pretty consistent, but in between this and The World's Not Enough, he really is.
Yeah.
Almost perfect as a James Bond. I think it's really good.
Yeah, and then I guess moving on to the ladies, there's 2 major Bond girls in this one. He is in bed I forgot to say, when we first see Pierce after the action scene at the beginning, he's in bed with a lady, brushing up on some Dutch. What's his
Danish?
Yeah, Danish. Then. But it was awesome to see something like that. You probably wouldn't see a scene like that anymore. And Moneypenny and M were in on the joke too. And but I think the only other 2 girls in this are the main 2. Terry Hatcher is Paris Carver, which is a cool little love triangle. The main baddie, it kind of takes me back to like Domino or something. The main baddie's lady is like a kept woman, and Bond is there to rescue her. This time he doesn't rescue her; he just causes her death, which is kind of sad. But Paris Carver is there, and she's someone out of his past, and I'm wondering if they would have used another Bond girl from another movie, it would have hit even harder, other than like a made up new girl.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
But I mean, I like that. That sort of seems like a typical like Bond trope, like the baddies lady in Bond, and
would have been funny if Carver married the analyst sent to do a evaluation of him.
Yeah. I was even thinking like, what if it was Natalia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or
that would have been wild.
Yeah. Or even what if it was Pam?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then yeah. But anyways, yeah. But I guess Terry.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah. But I guess Terry Hatcher was only in this movie because he was like a big name around this time because of Superman and all that. But I guess I saw in an interview she was only in this because her husband wanted her to be in it because he wanted to be married to a Bond girl. So, got to give her credit for doing that for her husband. Like that's something I would want my wife to do. Like you be in this Bond movie so I can be married to a Bond girl. But I guess they divorced anyway. But he can still say, yeah, my ex-wife was a Bond girl. But anyway, but
props to him for asking her to do it. I thought she was great.
Yeah, she's great. And then, of course, Wei Lin. I'll let you guys talk about them in a minute, but Wei Lin's probably one of my favorites, especially after watching this. He's like the kung fu version of Major Amazova. Like we were saying, this is like a sort of like a newer, modern version of The Spy Who Loved Me. It's awesome to see her. Of course, she's in the Jackie Chan's in those Hong Kong movies. I think it was like Lady Cop or Police Wear Skirts or something. She was with Cynthia Rothrock. I can't remember the name of that movie. But she's been in quite a few Hong Kong movies. It's awesome to see her as a Bond girl. That sort of femme fatale, like lady spy, like Asian kung fu lady spy. I love that trope. but we got the 2 Bond girls. What do you think about the girls in this, Wubs?
Yeah, I think it's a good mix. Between Paris and Wei Lin. They're obviously very different.
Yep.
And kind of like in GoldenEye between Natalia and Xenia, very different, even though they were both Russian. I like that. I like that when they're multi-ethnic and variety. I think it makes it more interesting. Personally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was good.
Excellent.
This might be my favorite Michelle Yeoh film that I've seen.
Yeah.
Which I can't say that I've seen a ton of them.
For sure. Yeah, I like the Kung Fu ones for sure. This is my favorite. This is a Bond film, of course. Yeah, but for sure this is my favorite Michelle Yeoh. But I like a lot of her other Kung Fu movies. Yeah.
I really like her character in this too, because as I was watching it, when they're going in to break into Carver's headquarters at the beginning, well, kind of, right after he gets with Paris, I thought it was interesting that she's dressed with these big heels and these kind of bell-bottom, pants, and I thought to myself, like, this feels like Austin Powers.
Yes, I love
like
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very retro. Like
Yeah.
she had like they did her up like a 60s,
Yeah, that was so
spy
awesome. Yeah.
kind of. I just thought like, why have I never noticed that before? Like that's so obvious. But it really stands out now. And I think it adds humor to it too, because all the goons are chasing him because she tripped the alarm, and she's wearing this amazing outfit that really stands out for the time, and they don't notice her at all as she escapes because they're so busy chasing him. It's really funny.
That's good. I like that point. That's a good observation.
It's also amazing how she is always there before Bond, and Bond is the one who gets all of he gets all the clues for the next segment, but somehow she finds it before he does, like the submarine and the sunken ship and the secret lab and all that. So she's got some skills, not only kung fu, but she has some spy skills. What about you, Thumb? What do you think of the girls in this?
With that character, Wei Lin, like you brought up, like I thought it was a little like too convenient. I don't know if that was intentionally supposed to be funny, like with the submarine. I thought it was like, okay, they're running into each other a lot. I get it, but this is like, come on, like how could she? And she just happens to be right behind them and doing like the horror thing where I guess that's tough to tap on someone's shoulder there because it's underwater, but
it'd be scary no matter what hit you down there if you were in that submarine. Like
with the Paris character, I actually like that because in GoldenEye, Alec tells Bond like Mick kind of does a little fourth wall break on the whole franchise, like how will you make up for all the women you let die?
Yeah, so, that's like, another one right there. Yeah.
So this is the first time for Pierce Brosnan where a female character died. Because of him, sort of, and I like that. I know it's a trope, like I could get you out in 2 days. Oh no, you can't. He watches all of us. I get it's a little bit tropey, but I thought it was a good trope though, because that really shocked me. Like when she died, I was like, wow. I actually thought that was really kind of sad. And it kind of adds to the. It just makes GoldenEye, even more rewatchable. I love that movie, but I like when she says, "Tell me, James, do you sleep with a gun? Do you still sleep with a gun?"
Yeah, that's a great line.
I love that line. I love that line. Because
so many implications. So many implications from that one line.
Yeah.
Because it was a nice little like, I don't know if it's an Easter egg but like a homage to like the opening scene to Goldfinger when he's with the girl and he's like, oh, excuse, like she sees his gun and he's like, oh, this is just like a inferiority complex or something.
Yes.
Yes. It was just and Wei Lin, I thought it was funny when the chase scene later, which I guess you guys could go into that later, but
we can talk about it. Yeah, we can talk about it. Go ahead.
Don't have any ideas now. Like she said that a couple times.
But
I thought the way she delivered it was really good, like really funny, and like I thought it was a good way of like, having action and humor. And I thought the chemistry between her and Brosnan were like really spot on. And I thought that motorcycle scene was a good showcase of her talents too. So
there was
that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah, heck yeah. It also feels like Pierce, like Bond is actually kind of really impressed with her in this. Like usually it's always the girl that's impressed with Bond, but it seemed like Bond like was kind of really like you always see like the way he looks at her, like wow, this girl is something. The way she has all these gadgets and she has all these skills, like and he'd always be complimenting her. Like you never really see Bond do that.
Well, I was like, I think for the very first time, Brosnan looks at her going let down that wall, and he's like, "How's she doing that?" Like you know, she's like prophesizing down that building.
You know, the other thing that's kind of interesting about her, I don't remember watching it and feeling at any point like they were trying to make this a like a masculine versus feminine thing. It was like they were just naturally both really good at what they did, you know? And I think even Spy Who Loved Me had more overtones of that men versus women type thing than this did. And I think it's just kind of interesting because it's like this is like a very special moment in time because obviously like that's been a way bigger issue in the last 20 years in Hollywood. So anyway, just something interesting.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And then the one I forgot before you get to Dave. Sorry, Dave. I always leave you for last. But the scene I really liked is when they're showering after that big action scene, and they're handcuffed together, and and she picks the lock with her earring, and keeps him locked to the shower and runs away. I really love that scene. It's super sexy and kind of mysterious. I like that David Arnold cue when she runs away, and it's I don't know if that's her theme song or whatever, but she kind of runs away, and you see like this mysterious woman running away, and it plays that music. I really liked that. Yeah, but what about you, David? What did you think about the ladies in this?
I know what's really funny though as well because I almost kind of like getting last in a way because sometimes, you know, sometimes a lot of times you guys will say something. I'm like, yes, I'm dead glad you said that because if you just reminded me on about something. But to be fair, these two Bond women are probably literally the best of both worlds because you've got, like we said before, Michelle Yeoh just kicking ass all over the place, like, you know, just like, you know, she's really attractive, she can do martial arts, she can handle herself, she's a great character. And then, because I'm a huge comic book nerd, that I love the fact that Terry Hatcher is Lois Lane, and in this you see Lois Lane in lingerie, which is like, I mean, it's the worst. The price of the ticket alone is like, oh my god, it's like you see Lois Lane with not very many clothes on, so it's like that will do for me. But to answer your question, yes, they're very good Bond girls.
Excellent. And then I guess other than the guy, I forgot to mention Moneypenny is back as usual. I guess we can talk about the supporting cast like the buddies, the MI6 crew. We got Tanner's not back in this one, but I think his name's Robinson, the chief of staff, that handsome tall black guy that's from Resident Evil. So he's pretty much
Colin Salmon.
Yeah, Colin Salmon. Yeah, that guy's awesome. But then and then I guess it's cool that we have the Minister of Defense. It's not the same guy that plays Freddie Gray. What's his name? Jeffrey Keane. But they have I think this is the last time we ever see the Minister of Defense in a Bond movie, right? And there's that little briefing with the Admiral and M, and oh, sometimes M, I think you need more balls. And she's like, oh well, that was kind of cute. Well, the benefit is I don't have to use them to think with.
Yeah, it was so funny.
And then Moneypenny, I thought it was cool how she had her little office in the front seat when Robinson and M and Bond are in the back drinking, and then of course we got Wade is back, Jack Wade, Joe Don Baker reprising his role from GoldenEye. We didn't get Felix Leiter during this period, but we got Jack Wade in a couple of movies. Why I always say he's like a mixture of Felix Leiter and J.W. Pepper. But
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think that. What do you guys think about? Oh, and then Q, of course, we talked about him a bit, but yeah, like you say, his interactions with Pierce in these movies are golden. What do you guys have any thought on the Moneypenny and the others, and M?
Yeah, I think she's great. Yeah. Again, I really love this Moneypenny. This might Samantha Bond's probably my favorite Moneypenny.
Oh
really.
Wow, yeah.
And they have good banter in this one. I don't feel like it's as spicy as GoldenEye, right? GoldenEye was much more political, but this was still fun. And really, actually, what's interesting about this one is like GoldenEye, she's all standoffish, and in this one, she's like actively engaging in a lot of innuendo with him. And way more flirty. So it's like all of a sudden, I guess it's because he saved the Church of England, right? So her pension's okay too. So she warmed up to him a little bit because of GoldenEye.
And she's actually like, oh, Bond, you get to go mess with your old flame. Well, like, you
right?
Get
Kind of egging him on a little bit. It's interesting. Yeah.
Do you think when she very first went for the audition, it would be like on her mind that her last name was Bond? Do you think that would work in her favour? Because it's almost like if you cast somebody with Bond as the second name, it's like it's kind of a bit on the nose, isn't it? But then if you don't cast it, it's like, well, you can't not cast her because she's got not the name Bond. It's a bit hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That might have been tough for the casting director.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I like her a lot. I think Judi Dench as M is great as well.
Yep. I was thinking this might be my favorite Emerald from her. I thought it was GoldenEye, but this might be my favorite.
Interesting. More so than Skyfall, even. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know that might be the most we see of her. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's definitely her most screen time.
Yeah.
I would guess, but doesn't necessarily make it the best movie.
Yeah.
I thought she was really good in The World's Not Enough as well.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, she had a lot of screen time in that one too.
I've always got a soft spot for her in Casino Royale. I think, like the fact that she's one of the carry-on
that's
characters that carry through, like, and I kind of love that about Casino Royale. That when it's like we're rebooting James Bond. Don't forget about the old films. By the way, he's Judi Dench as M. It's like, I guess.
I was glad they kept her actually for that. I thought she was really good in those movies.
Yeah, I like her. Yeah, she's good. Yeah.
And that's tradition too, right? I mean, the original M saw 3 different Bonds?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this is a total aside, but I always thought it was cool. Every time they reboot Star Trek, there's always a character from the or an actor from the previous Star Trek to sort of pass the baton on. And when somebody first told me that, I was like, really? So I know so little about Star Trek for a nerd. I was like, it kind of caught me off guard, but yeah.
Oh yeah, like Deanna Troy's mom was back in like the pilot of the original one, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, but you got any what about you, Thummy? Any thoughts on any of the supporting cast or the buddies, like the MI6 crew and all that?
I think compared to GoldenEye, they were a bit of a step down for me. And I think maybe I know that sometimes that's designed. Like I know it's a little bit different than like the Daniel Craig movies. Like I know M is more involved in Daniel Craig movies and stuff, but maybe I don't know. Maybe that's good because like the whole supporting characters just disappear for like the second half of the movie for the most part, except for like a brief scene of that Halo jump with Wade. I don't know, like, and then like the opening scene kind of threw me out a little bit with M being there right away. I mean, I get like she's sticking up for him, but I don't know. It's just, I mean, the scene was kind of funny, like Bond's being fluent in multiple languages, and then that was funny with Moneypenny. You know, like sometimes it's good to have those short scenes. Sometimes like less is more. You know, so it's like But I don't think it was the same level for me as GoldenEye. But maybe that's just me putting GoldenEye too high of a pedestal. But I still thought the Q scene was just as good. Because I like how it makes fun of the whole James Bond franchise, like how Bond doesn't take care of like the gadgets and stuff and whatnot. So I think anytime a movie that kind of makes fun of itself, I think that's always a plus.
And of course he's a pro at everything without Q even telling him how to use it.
Well, is that nitpick too, though? You know what I mean? Like, is Bond really that good at like the touchpad? You know? So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think the implication there is he's very good with his hands.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Anything else about?
I gotta hand it to you, Bonds.
Yeah.
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 I don't want to get out of hand here, so I'm just gonna stop and let Dave talk.
You got anything else with any of the MI6 crew or Wade or anyone, Dave? Or you got any thoughts on them or Q?
No, I think they're all like pretty solid on the level.
Yeah.
But what did just remind me about, say, making fun of the franchise and sort of like saying about like Q saying about how he doesn't look after the cars and things. But I always remember once somebody doing a fan commentary for the James Bond movie and making it was a really good observation. I thought that saying how much flack James Bond gets for like not respecting the cars and not respecting the gadgets, but he literally saves the world, and you're like, oh, you've ruined this car. And it's like, don't get me wrong, the Aston Martin is really expensive and Lotus and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I've literally saved the world. Heaven forbid I've blown up a car. I mean, don't get me wrong, easy for me to, and I'm not a bandful in all this stuff, but yeah, I think the characters are pretty good in this year, so yeah, can't fault them really.
Yeah. I before we go on, I kind of like this. Like this, they're in it quite a bit, but I think like in these newer ones, just for me personally, like they get too centered around M, like Ray Fiennes and Judi Dench and Q and all. They get like too wrapped up with that. Like I don't want to see these guys like intertwined into the plot. Like just have them there for like a resource for Bond or like a comedic relief moment. All these newer ones with Ray Fiennes and even Judi Dench, like they just get so intertwined into the plot. And I was thinking maybe that's something from the novels, but no. Like maybe one time M went to go play cards with Bond against Hugo Drax, and one time Bond got brainwashed to go murder M. But other than that, he's usually not so into the plot like all these new movies. But I guess I don't know. It's not so bad. But I just kind of like this around here is about the level I like of the interaction with the MI6 people. Yeah.
Yeah, because interestingly enough, I saw Spectre again, sort of the same time as this again. I was watching both kind of side by side.
Yeah.
And then, like M being like so like the new actor. He's a good actor.
Ralph, Oh yeah, I like him as him. Yeah.
I mean, he's a great actor, but he's way into this movie, way too much. I'm like, get off the screen. Get off the screen. You know?
Thank you, Thumb. Yeah. So. Anyway. But I guess I've been looking forward to this segment, talking about the villains in this. I kind of have some complaints with how they did that Gupta guy. His little assistant. He was the guy that had the decoder at the beginning of the movie. I guess the director got that guy just because he's he's a magician and he was good at throwing cards. Like he's like no one is on his level as throwing cards. Like he could chop like fruit in half, or you could take off your finger. And they were going to incorporate that into the movie where he was going to be throwing cards at Bond, but they never used it. So he's just like some forgettable, typical like side like assistant in this movie. But I thought that would have been cool if they would have kept those scenes in with him. But I mean, that's just like after the fact, like hindsight, because I didn't know that when I saw the movie. I just thought he was like a typical little assistant character, like an Igor or whatever. But it would have been super cool to have that in the movie. That seems very Fleming-ish or old Bond movie where you'd have like a character do something weird like that, like throw cards, and. But
I didn't know that. I really like the fact that somebody got cast because they were a magician. That's really cool.
And then I thought Stamper. Of course, we've done that before, Stamper. But he's pretty cool, scary looking, bad blonde, typical like Kriegler or Necros, or and it was kind of subtle, but he had kind of a little relationship with another henchman I really liked, Dr. Kaufman. You could tell like he was like his mentor, and it kind of hurt him when his mentor was killed. But they didn't really go deep into that. But I kind of like that, and it seemed like he was into torture and all that. Yeah. But then of course there was Dr. Kaufman, and that guy just came out of nowhere. He's in one scene in the movie, and he steals the show. That's like my favorite scene when Bond goes into the room and he hears on the TV. It's very, very like foreboding, like he hears on the television that Paris Carver has been murdered and another unidentified man is with her, and it's very kind of a creepy scene. He walks into the room and Paris is dead. And then we have Dr. Kaufman there, who kind of plays up like the comedy. but man, that's such a weird character to be in this movie, and I love him because he seems like something from like the Roger Moore era, or something like Tom Mankiewicz would have put in his movies, like with Kid and Wince and Knick Knack and all that. Yeah, just a weird character. This doctor that's an assassin that kills people. I guess he kills people for Carver, so he can wrap it up good with the media or whatever. But this weird character, Dr. Kaufman. But before we get to Elliot Carver, do you guys have thoughts on the henchmen and the villains in this? I'll start with you, Wubs.
Yeah, I like the mix of all of them, really.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think Kaufman stole the show.
Yeah.
Right. And I liked how Stamper had they managed to establish that relationship between the two of them very easily, even though you never see them together.
Yeah.
So that was, and it was very believable with how they made the characters otherwise. So I thought that was pretty clever, actually, just the way that it was filmed.
Yeah.
And I do think that the scene with Kaufman right after Paris dies is really great, because you're sad for a few seconds and then all of a sudden you're laughing.
Yeah.
and that's pretty impressive, and it definitely makes it more memorable, I think, because it's such a quick emotional shift.
Yeah, this movie has so many like homages to older movies. I get that when he tricks Kaufman into using his phone, it takes me all the way back to From Russia with Love with the briefcase. Like, get your hands away from there. Let me do that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like with like the coldness and the anger he kills Kaufman. Like, this guy just killed your lover, and it's kind of, I think maybe Roger wouldn't have done it like that, but he was very serious when he kills him. Kind of like how Timmy would be. But anyway, yeah.
You get a little bit of that moment when he dropped Trevelyan at the end of.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's more brutal with Kaufman than he is with Carver, really.
Yeah. Yeah. But anything else? Any other villains you got any thoughts on?
Not really. I don't think. I mean, I like the other guys. I liked all the Germans that beat him up, right? So those guys are pretty funny.
That was a cool scene. I forgot to mention that. That seemed like very modern, like the modern Bond movie. That seems like something that would have happened in like a Sean Connery movie. Like, he's in the sound room and he's fighting people and making all that noise. That seemed very very classic Bond to me, that scene. Yeah. Yeah,
it's like it's high tech, but it's not. It's not like modern high tech. Like, it's very retro. Like, soundproof rooms have been around forever, right? So. Yeah, but it's still a really cool place for a fight.
Yeah, that it really seemed like something that would have been out of like maybe even like OHMSS, a scene like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's funny you say that though, because sometimes though I think there's something about movies where scenes where there's not much sound. I think because there's something about cinematic movies where the sound design and anything in stereo and really good sound production is amazing.
Yeah.
But when something's quiet, it's so captivating because you're like, why is there no sound? It's just like,
Any thoughts on the henchman in this one, Thumb?
I guess with the henchmen, especially with Dr. Kaufman, I do have a very high praise, but also a little bit of a nitpick.
Yeah.
So like my high praise is that actor, the way he acted was pretty phenomenal. Because he was actually from he had a very small part in Batman Returns.
Yeah.
He was the organ grinder.
Oh yeah, and, you know what?
He also had a.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh, he also had a small part in Ghost. Also.
Yeah, he was in Ghost. You see him all the time. I don't know his name. It's like.
Wasn't he in Death to Smoochie?
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Wasn't he the guy that was the assassin in Death to Smoochie?
I think so. He's been in a ton of things. It's unfortunate no one knows his name. It starts with like an SCH, Chevelle or something. Or...
Yeah, I should know. I can't think off the top of my head.
You know what? Before you go on, Thumb, I just want to cut in. Last year I played the World Is Not Enough, or sorry, the Tomorrow Never Dies video game, and I played Batman Returns on Super Nintendo. Both games, you fight this guy as a boss.
Oh wow,
nice.
Yeah,
that's actually really really good bit of trivia. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, go ahead, Thumb.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't want to go too off topic, but yeah, I think the video game would be cool. I never got a chance to play the video game.
Oh,
so,
you would tear it up.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, yeah, that was like a really like, it was a great scene. It was just like, especially his accent and just like he's like, hey, I'm a professional marksman, so on and so forth. And yeah, like similar to like Robert Shaw, how Robert Shaw kind of fell for the suitcase trick.
Yep.
But I think my nitpick though is like, what leverage do the bad guys have by killing Paris off so easily like that? Like Bond already sees that Paris is dead, so why would he just be like, okay, here's the just take the car thing?
Yeah,
there's no leverage.
Yeah, you kind of fell for it very cool. Yeah.
Well, they assumed incorrectly that Bond valued his own life. Yeah. Right. I think that's the thing there, right?
Yeah, I think
he just thought, I could point this gun at him and he'll tell me where it is or how to get in, right?
Yeah, I think it's with all these Bond movies, they just always underestimate Bond, like they don't know who he is.
Yeah.
No, true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't. Maybe they didn't realize he was that close with Paris again.
Yeah.
You know, like, but still, I guess he could have kept the girl alive just maybe a little bit longer. But no, it's still a great scene. Like, you know.
I mean, obviously, it would have worked better to use her as leverage because that is the only time Bond does what the villain wants is when like a woman's being threatened.
Yeah.
I guess the henchman Stumper. I don't think he was like that amazing.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I don't think he was, to me, I wasn't, I mean, that's my hot take. I don't think he was that great of a henchman.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people agree. To me, like, if I would have seen this before the other ones, I would have thought he was like the bee's knees. But I'd already seen someone like him, like Necros, I think is like top of the line. And then even like Red Grant.
Oh, you mean Stamper?
Stamper, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like, especially, which I'm gonna have a gripe towards the end of the movie, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save my biggest gripe towards the end. Don't worry.
Okay.
But yeah, he just, I wasn't really that impressed. I mean, I guess he was cool and all, but like, I guess he's a henchman. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a little bit let down.
To be fair, I'm not just saying this for say this, but I think some of these aren't really nitpicks. I think sometimes when there's so many Bond films and there's so many Bond girls and Bond villains and stuff like that, that like some aren't going to resonate for whatever reason, and they might not be quote unquote bad or they might not be quote unquote good, but it's like if for whatever reason you think, oh well, I prefer this person over that person. It's like, well, it's a fair comment, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, that's I think that's cool. You guys like different viewpoints, and also like Dr. Kaufman, he was in the movie just for like several minutes, and I thought he had much more of an impact as a villain than Stomper did throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
I think
you're right.
That's the thing for me too.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, because he was so unique and different, like Stamper. Like I said, typical. I mean, he had little subtle differences, like all the torture stuff, but it didn't really come out. It just seems like another blonde henchman. Another guy I wanted to mention before we talk about, I'll let you talk about Dave, but before I forget,
okay.
Before I forget, the General Chang. This is a major complaint. I mean, the movie ties together well, so I guess I can't complain. It's just like General Chang is a major point to this movie, but he's not even in it. That would be it's like
Tylord,
okay,
100%.
Okay, we'll talk.
Totally right.
But it's like it's like if in Octopussy General Orloff wasn't even in it. You know, my good friend, and Kamal Khan would just say, "You know, my good friend General Orloff will get what he wants, disarmament in the West, and he will take over." Like, and then have him not even be in it. It just seems really weird. I don't know if I know this movie had a lot of problems with production, which I don't like complaining about movies like if it's behind the scenes stuff. I like to judge it by what I see, but it just seems kind of weird. I mean, it came together pretty good, pretty fun movie, like you said overall. But it just seems weird that General Chang is not in it. Like, there's not even like a anyway, but
they ran out of budget. They couldn't pay another actor to speak.
Yeah, he just kind of walked by like, "Oh, who's that? Oh, that's General Chang from the Vietnamese army." but anyway,
General Chang.
Yeah.
I do love stuff like that though, because that's such a good observation of spotting something that's not there. That and like you said though, behind the scenes stuff. Because I think again, it's that thing where if once you know it's a thing. Like even if you don't like play into the movie, if you know, oh, there should have been this character, or for whatever reason they didn't have time to film it, it's still something in the back of your mind. So that's quite funny that like he's not even in the film. That's pretty funny.
But you got it. Sorry, I skipped you again, David. I feel like you got a lot of good info to wrap up each segment. What do you think about the henchman?
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I think with me, I think with this film, I think I just said it a little bit a couple of minutes ago, but I think they're just solid, really. I think, like I say, they're not like Red Grants or anything like that. They're not like top tier, but I think they're really passable. I think I think they just work. So yeah, I can't fault them really. So yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a fun mix of villains. I think that's what it is. It's not like amazing necessarily or like one of the best, but it's just the mix of them works well for me. It's sort of like the whole movie when I said at the beginning. It's like I just think it's an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
It's not like one of the best. It's not one of the worst. Every time I watch it, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I hear people complain about how poorly Diamonds Are Forever is edited, but I mean, I think it's edited very well. It's just certain plot points don't fit together. I think this is way worse than Diamonds Are Forever. Like the way the how they put the movie together is. But I don't know. Maybe people do complain about this one too with the editing or the way they put it together. But
everything makes sense. It's just you don't know who the hell General Chang is.
And also other henchmen. I forgot to mention the Jackie Chan stunt crew was the only one that could handle Michelle in this, because I guess the Americans couldn't, or the English whoever couldn't hang with Michelle, so they had to get Jackie Chan's guys.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But, that's cool.
Yeah.
Which we should say about editing though, because I've always thought that's funny. Well, I've heard so many films over the years be criticised for their bad editing. Yeah. And I think I'm not saying this is what you've said, but just in general terms, that when people say a film is edited badly, I feel like they just don't like that style of editing. Yeah. Where I think there's a major difference between, if people don't like a certain style, that's one thing. But I think there's very few films that are poorly edited because I feel like sometimes when you see something really poorly edited where it's like a line of dialogue gets cut off halfway through or something like that. And I was watching like a review for the James Bond 4Ks where somebody was saying that like some of the dialogue is like literally cut off halfway through, or like they've like looped things in a weird way, and I think that's when something is poorly edited. Like when somebody say, "Oh, it's badly edited," it's like, well, just because you don't like how it's edited doesn't mean it's bad. Because like I know, like on Her Majesty's Secret Service, the way the fight scenes are like really brutal and like really kinetic, and I personally quite like it. But some people find it really jarring, and it's like, well, it's good. It's not bad. Some people like different things.
Well, it's the style of the time, right? The fast animation fight style was just what was in back then.
John Glenn is the master of all editors. I can't even fathom anyone thinking any movie he does is bad editing.
And me and my mate talk about this all the time. I still don't know when people used to edit 35mm film. When you see somebody edited on one of them old editing desks with like a razor blade, and you're like, how are they literally all cutting like one frame at a time or something? It's just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
a little harder back then.
Yeah, it's so much. Yeah, with these computers and now it's just so much different than how it would have been back then. Anyway, but I guess we'll move on. Is we spent too much time not talking about him, the main villain in this. I want to hear what you guys think about him. Elliot Carver, played by Jonathan Pryce, and I've always liked this actor. He was in Terry Gilliam's Brazil, and I know I've seen him, and you probably have seen him in more stuff over there, those English movies, but I don't know. To me, like, this guy is so super hammy. I kind of like him. He's so different compared to any other Bond. I kind of compare him, like his over-the-top personality, to Raul Julia in Street Fighter. I don't know if you guys see that. Like sometimes I forget who said what because they're just so like they put so much into it. Like I forget if this is an M. Bison line or Elliot Carver line. They came out around the same time.
That's a really good comparison. I see what you're saying. That's a good point.
Yeah, and he's not. There's nothing. He's not imposing at all, and he doesn't have like a missing eye or a claw hand. He's just some media guy that's really conceited and really theatrical. And I guess someone like that probably would be like that, like to be on camera all the time and be theatrical. So I really like his performance. I think he's pretty funny and pretty evil. I'm thinking maybe if they would have had the rights to use Blofeld at this time, he probably could have been a good Blofeld. But
yeah, that would have been very different.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, but I tend to like this a lot. I think he gives it his. I think he's on the level of. I always talk about Steven Berkoff in Octopussy. I think he's on that level.
No, that makes. I can see that. Yeah, that's a good call too.
Yeah, but his death. The thing about this movie, I guess we'll talk about when we talk about the ending. Yeah, but Elliot Carver. What do you guys think of him?
He's definitely like a Roger Moore type villain. In this, the way he acts and the way like his character comes across. But I agree with you. I think he could have been Blofeld if they wanted to do like a darker tone.
Yeah.
You know, like that would have been interesting.
I can see the Blofeld connection. That is a really good call actually, and the Blofeld connection seems like that should be the title for something. I don't know what.
But yeah, I like him. I think. Yeah, it'd be hard for me to rank the Brosnan villains outside of 006 obviously being my favorite, but otherwise I think I just think he's quite good in this. It's very believable too, right? And he sort of illustrates kind of I don't know, maybe he's sort of like a clown billionaire in a way. Like that's sort of how he strikes me. Like he's sort of like a parody of like all the billionaires we got now.
Yeah.
You know, or like the ones that are like the meme billionaires, right? They're always in the news trying to be relevant in different ways and stuff. Like that's totally Elliot Carver, right?
Yeah. And he throws his little hissy fits when something doesn't go right. Like I don't know if the real billionaires do that on camera, but he does it on camera. He'll throw his little hissy fit.
Yeah.
What about you? Yeah. What about you, Thumb? What do you think of Elliot Carver? No relation. No relations to Rosie Carver. Sorry. Go ahead, Thumb.
Me and Elliot Carver have a lot in common because I am one of those billionaires.
That's what I thought.
Throw fits.
Excellent.
So just I totally connected. You know the way. So I think for me it's like I do like that connection that like that he kind of has a connection sort of with Paris and Bond. Like I did like how all those three characters were kind of interconnected.
Yeah.
Because like one of my favorite lines or moments in the movie, and I think it's also one of my while I have given a lot of praise to the movie, I also think I wish the movie had a little bit more running time. I feel like you could have had a little bit more backstory to the villain, because like one of my favorite scenes was a great actor, by the way, great acting, so phenomenal actor by the villain. But like when he was talking to Paris, he said like, when I was growing up, first as a journalist, it wasn't the who, it wasn't the how or the where, but it was the why. Like, why are you betraying me?
Yeah.
And I just thought, like, man,
That's really
maybe
good,
you could have done
yeah.
a little bit more of that scene. Like stretch out that scene a little bit more, or add a little bit more to this guy's backstory a little bit more. Like when he's to be a growing up as I mean, you don't want to bore the audience to death.
That seemed very Fleming-ish, that little section right there. That seemed like very, very something that would have been out of a Fleming novel.
I think part of it is that because they didn't make him physically compromised in some way, or have some sort of disability or injury that Fleming loves to do with his villains, right?
Yeah.
It would be hard, like, maybe, and I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking, like, as a writer, if that was my job, like, I would be risking like humanizing this guy too much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh, it would have been awesome if he was in a wheelchair, huh?
Yeah. Oh, let's just make him a total paraplegic. He gives all of his instructions to Stamper by blinking.
Yeah, because usually you don't make the paraplegics bad and you sympathize with it. It'd been awesome if there's like an evil paraplegic. That would be,
I was going to say it's the quote of this recording so far, but I think the quote of all time. I'd rather be in a wheelchair. That's awesome.
You would think like you would think it'd be odd to have a villain outclass Bond in terms of puns, but Elliot Carver does, at least in my opinion, have the pun of the movie. When he says to Wei Lin, he says like Bond is he's right now he's at the bottom of the sea. You could say he's kind of like my Anchorman. I just thought that was a really funny, like,
that's really good
pun. And like I was like, you know what? He has the pun of the movie. Like the villain has the pun of the movie. I thought that was really good. Good delivery. And then I also I don't know if it was a reference to like Star Wars, but like he says a headline: "The Empire will strike back," and he said, "Don't." This was not my quote. It was someone, someone else's. I wonder if that was like a little clever like Easter egg or something.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. That's so cool.
That's what I thought of when I saw it anyway.
I do have one gripe though, and you know how it is with me. Yeah, I understand it's a James Bond movie. I totally get it. It's a whole franchise, but Bond got escaped way too easily. I thought that was very lazy, because like he was about to be tortured, right?
Yeah.
And then the movie goes a little bit too. I think this is where my gripe. I wish the movie was like 10 minutes longer, because he says to Bond, he says, "Okay, Stamper, make it quick," and then all of a sudden Bond just like escapes 2 seconds, and then Elliot's right there. He actually sees it. You know what I mean? I was like, that wasn't as clever as like other Bond movies. It was just too. It took me a little bit too out of it.
But James Bond had a machine gun. So
where did he get that machine gun?
That's what happened. Like Wei Lin was attached to him, right? And she kicks the guy, and he drops the gun, and then Bond picks it up and starts shooting.
It was just see that's my gripe though. It's like a little that was a little bit too uncreative. In my opinion.
Think that's one of the parts. That's one of the parts where it was highly edited out, or like there's a lot of stuff missing from that scene. That's the part where Gupta was throwing the cards at him, and all that stuff got cut. I think there was a lot of stuff that got cut out of that scene.
Yeah, see, I think that scene would have been a lot better. But then it does redeem itself with the motorcycle scene after. So the motorcycle scene does redeem it. Yeah. So.
But you could argue too, like it wasn't an easy escape because they had to jump off that building.
Oh yeah, like sort of like
getting out of the room was easy. But,
who am I?
Yeah,
that's a good point. And then I liked when they he ripped off the face of Elliot Carver with because Elliot Carver has that giant face of him. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was just imagining how hilarious it would have been if that had been like Elon Musk's face. And, like,
That's really funny. But what's really interesting though, listen to you, that back and forth you were just having though, it's the reason why I shouldn't write movies, because there's sometimes where I'll be watching a film for 20, 30 years where I'll just like go with the flow, where if somebody escapes or somebody does something really silly or there's a huge plot hole in something, and I'll completely go with it. And then when somebody says, "How did that guy do that thing?" and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know."
Yeah, correct.
And it's like the proper Seinfeld joke of like, "Why did he kill that guy?
Yep.
Who is that guy? Why did that guy die?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know."
I think they had to do it this way though, because it illustrates how it's just the classic thing. The villain always underestimates Bond.
Yeah.
He thinks, oh, I have him, he's surrounded by all my goons, he's handcuffed to this other person who also happens to be a super spy, so you would think like, okay, maybe they would at least handcuff both of them,
Well,
yeah. So,
well,
but it's just funny, like, it doesn't matter what they do, Bond always, like, one-ups it,
Oh no, I mean I have no problem Bond escaping. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
no, I
think
it.
they could have. I think they could have done more. Like maybe actually start a little torture, right?
Yeah.
Because like they do a lot of build-up talking. I thought it would have been cool to see some of the torture. Actually,
Well, I mean that's the Craig films right there, right? You get to see the
torture.
A little more intense on tone.
Oh, we got a little bit of it in the next movie.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah. With the next.
Well, you get some at the beginning of Die Another Day with the Scorpions.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. Okay. What about you though, Dave? Any other thoughts on Elliot Carver?
Well, again, kind of echoing what you guys just said, but I think with him being like a quote-unquote normal-looking guy, where he was just a person, I think that works so much in the favor of this movie, because I've got no problem with the Bond villains having like a scar on the face or like a robot arm or something, or like I know none of these things actually happen in Bond movies, but like some kind of like problem, like where they're not like they've got like some disability or something like that, or some kind of like cool side effects or something. But to me, that he was just a normal guy. And again, the more this film progresses and the more time goes on, if you ever find out somebody's done something really dodgy or somebody's like a really horrible person, more often than not, they are just a person. You would just walk past in the street and just be like, "Oh, that's just a guy," or whatever. And then you find out they've got like a basement full of dead bodies or something, or they've got some like weird thing. So like to me, it just rings true that like, and again, like say, I wouldn't mind if the next James Bond villain there's somebody who's got like like a robot eye or something, or like say some kind of like they're a cyborg or something like that. But the fact that he is just a normal guy to me is like really, really cool. So it just works. It really does. It's cool.
It makes it more, again, like it makes it more relatable to me. It makes it more like this is really feels like it could easily happen in a lot of ways, or be more. It just feels more realistic than a lot of the other films. Because he's just a regular looking guy.
Yeah. With a big personality, a big ego.
Right.
Yeah.
We usually find though as well that they are the kind of people though that these people that have got these giant egos, they are the ones that are like they want to control everything, want to take over things, that like where I'm always astounded. I've probably said this, especially after we finish recording. Sometimes I'll just say, "Oh, something I've seen on YouTube or something like that." But I'll be astounded sometimes when I'll see people who I think, "Oh, they've got," because I've never been jealous of people who've got money or status or anything like that. But when I see sometimes people that they just can't get enough of like having like multiple YouTube channels or having tons of money or having like loads of wealth, and that's like, wow, man, some people just can't control it. It's like, again, as long as you're not like killing anybody, who cares? But it's just like, wow, man, sometimes it's like unbelievable.
Well, I wonder what drives a lot of people, and particularly like people that are kind of like the Elliot Carver types. To me, it just seems like it's a lot of stress and work for I don't know, just another digit in your bank account after a certain point.
Yeah, some people have that drive though. I can't imagine that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well I think sometimes I think once you're a multi-millionaire, you would think that like if you've got like if you've got 100 million in the bank, if you've got 101 million, who cares? Like
Right. I mean, it's like you can only build a PC with a 5090, right? Like it doesn't get better than that. Like that's it. Like you can only like really play on one PC at a time. So why do you need more than $5,000?
Yeah.
It's true.
That's a silly example, but that's just one thing. It's like, I mean, yeah, you could collect everything and have all these different things, but you're still limited by your time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, time is the thing. So
yeah.
Yeah, and Bond doesn't really collect anything. The only thing he collects is probably champagne.
Yeah.
I mean, notches in his belt, right?
This is cool, yeah.
He's got the belt notches.
Yeah, I think the thing with Bond is I think he's into the luxury life just because like he does the finest things. Not that he's like vain or that he's superficial. It's just like he might die tomorrow, so he's just living life up.
Yep.
Like he's not really about possessions too much.
He's a light traveler. Like if Bond had to move somewhere, he could move within minutes. Just give him a suitcase and he's out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. I guess we can move on to the last, or one of the last things, the ending of this movie. Pretty epic. I know we didn't have Peter Lamont in this. He was doing Titanic at the time. From little stuff I've been reading, I guess this movie came out the same time as Titanic, which maybe either helped this or didn't help it. I'm not sure, but fuck Titanic. I'm all about Tomorrow Never Dies. No, but I thought the sets aboard his stealth ship were pretty cool. The sets and all that, and we have that big showdown at the end, and we got Michelle Yeoh. This movie's very, very has that 90s action polish. Like it reminds me of the Mission Impossibles around this time where everyone's flipping around with their machine guns and shooting stuff and sparks flying everywhere. I kind of prefer like the 80s grit a little more, but the 90s shine is very beautiful with the action movies. And then that's what this is. We get Michelle Yeoh jumping around. We get Pierce Brosnan looking awesome, shooting machine guns, fighting with Stamper, killing Elliot. This movie, I think Elliot's demise, it's really cool how he dies, but it feels to me like an Arnold movie, like something Arnold would say, like you forgot about the most important thing about broadcasting. Carver, give the people what they want, and throw them in. Like it's pretty awesome, but it seems more like an Arnold movie from around the time.
It does. But seems a little intense for Brosnan.
Yeah. And then we get this scene that he gets to. He has to choose between the girl is sinking, but he's also fighting with Stamper, and the ship's about to get blown up, so he goes down and saves the girl with his breath as the ship's blowing up. Very, very epic stuff. Then we get freaking scumbag Elliot kills his own buddy because the sequence has already said he kills Gupta. Yeah, and all kinds of shenanigans. What do you guys think of the? Oh, and then of course we end up with Bond and a lady out at sea, which is classic. We got to have that.
Just keep it undercover.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think of the ending, Wubs?
All my movies end this way, baby.
Yeah, baby.
To be fair.
Yeah.
But it's great, right? It's The Spy Who Loved Me with a one-man army instead of a sub crew, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's
a two-man army. Two-man, him and Michelle, right?
Yeah.
So it's a pretty great. I mean, it's a pretty awesome ending.
Yeah.
That the action is pretty intense. You don't actually see Bond with a machine gun that often in the movies.
Yeah.
Right, but you see him with a machine gun a lot in this one.
Yeah.
So it's got that. It's a little more intense.
I'm wondering if they want to tie. I'm wondering if around this time they want to tie it into shooter video games, and that's why they did that. Or you think it's just like the style of the '90s?
It could be because you got to remember this movie came out with GoldenEye, the video game, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Same year. So that very well could have been part of what they were thinking there. Mm-hmm. And I like it personally.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it's cool, to see that. So. particularly when he's going to do like a mission like this, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not a stealth type thing.
Yeah.
So, or something, with a spy
Yeah.
sort of thing. This is much more, like you said, an Arnold kind of ending.
Yeah.
But I think it's appropriate for the subject matter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he grabs the machine gun in Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
At the end, when
even
they're
back
in
in
big fight.
back in your favorite, he has a good little machine gun shootout in OHMSS.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think in the old films that was the first time we saw him with a machine gun.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right at the end.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So yeah, it's exciting. Big exciting finish. I think I liked the Carver death scene, even though it was a little campy, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's sort of I sort of expect that though with Brosnan.
Yeah.
I really him like the polished Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Just like a shinier Roger Moore
Yeah.
kind of. So, yeah. What did you think, Thumb?
I'm gonna detract a little bit and say I thought it was a little too like repetitive with the guns, with the machine guns. Like that's a cool set piece. Like you got this like underground stealth ship, but other than that, like the interior for me was kind of bland. Like as a set, like it just wasn't really an exciting set piece. Like when you compare it to like other particular James Bond movies.
Like the Ken Adams said, it's nothing like that. But I mean, it had that the night of the time. It was pretty accurate. Yeah. Yeah.
And like I don't know. Like I think there was a little bit too much gun use too by Wei Lin also. Like I thought, again, you don't want to overkill it with like her having like her just doing hand to hand all the time, and Bond is the gun guy, But it was a little bit too much when both of them were using machine guns. Like it was just like it's not that an exciting set piece. I think they're gonna do some more stuff with it, and I felt like there was a little bit too much back and forth with like the scenes with the British the Navy in the like a little bit too much. Like okay, let's go back and forth here. Let's go show M all of a sudden saying Bond gave it the coordinates, and then let's tell the Chinese government don't worry about the missiles, and this it was a little bit like I understand it makes sense with the plot. I totally get it, but it's just I don't know. I could see why people like the ending. I just thought like for me, it was a little bit of a. I wasn't too like that was my least favorite action scene in the whole movie, and maybe that's a sort of a compliment also because like I loved the whole GPS car scene.
Yeah, the
earlier.
Car scene.
Car scene.
And I understand you don't want to have a car scene again, but just I don't know. I was a little bit let down because like especially like with Stamper, like there was a scene where this where I get a little bit too nitpicky. Like Bond kills someone and then he brings the dead guy out, and like the person is just Stamper sees it for like 4 or 5 seconds and he's like he shoots him and then he tells Elliot, yeah, Bond is dead. I'm like, really? Like I get it's a James Bond movie, I totally get it, but come on, like, but I did think it was funny though how Elliot kept telling Stamper like 5 times like get rid of Bond already.
Right.
Like I thought that was a funny trope used pretty well.
I think that's what's funny about it, though, is like Stamper,
exactly.
the whole movie. I feel like Stamper overestimates his abilities the entire movie. Yeah. And he and like from that first scene where he gets to the leftovers of Bond in the quiet room in the total soundproof room. He should have known like I'm not dealing with a regular person here. Like, I really need to up my game. And it's like he takes him the whole movie and he still doesn't do it. He still thinks that this is just such an easy person to kill when it obviously isn't.
Yeah, no, I like that you brought up that scene earlier. Yeah, with the club, like when he takes them, because like I thought that was a cool scene, and he should be like, wow, this guy James Bond just beat up like 6 people. He might be someone to a worthy adversary.
Right.
Right.
I'm glad the car scene just got mentioned though, because I was just thinking, did we mention the car?
Yeah, we gotta mention that.
Yeah, I was just like, because that is just like, again, that's one of the scenes in this movie that like makes me like this film so much that like it's just so cool that like everything about that scene, that like him sitting in the back seat with the mobile phone and everything, and the rockets and the wire cutter and everything. And I love the fact the car is almost quite quote unquote sensible. I almost feel like, again, if it was a car you just saw driving down the street, just like, yeah, it's just a normal car.
That might
Just
be
like
a car. Yeah, maybe I could get
It's
that
the most
car.
boring car James Bond ever has, right? It's like the little four-door BMW sedan.
It is, yeah.
You
but
know, like
its abilities are not, but it's superficially it's the most boring four-door, and then but I guess he's a banker, so that would be like the type of car a banker has. Are we supposed to be?
It's actually it's actually appropriate for his cover. The one and only time.
Yeah,
right. Like,
every other time he's got a Lotus or Aston Martin.
He has some really exotic car by comparison. Yeah. And I think it's funny too because this is so what I feel like they would have done with Roger Moore potentially. Like, let's give him an amazing car, but make it look really boring. You know, like I could have seen Roger like being like, "Yes, let's totally do that, just for laughs."
That's true.
That scene though is so amazing, and that music. I think it was David Arnold with propeller heads. Or propeller heads doing that. That little track is so good, and it was. I kind of want to transition to the end here, but Dave, what did you think about the ending?
I love the ending in the sense that like anything to do with water. I don't know why, because I'm not very athletic at all, but I've always loved swimming. I've always really loved water, and like it's literally outside my house now. It's raining quite heavy, and I've always loved water and rain, and it's atmospheric. So there's something about that. I just it's again, it's not like some kind of stellar ending where it's like, you know, the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but any kind of thing like with boats and ships, I think there's something kind of cool about that. So yeah, I was kind of all in for it really. But yeah, and I couldn't say it's about getting repetitive and things like that with like a lot of machine gun fire, but I thought it worked overall. If it was not perfect, but I'd go with it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, excellent. So I guess we'll wrap it up. And we'll talk about how we feel, and you guys can just go on. If I missed anything, feel free to just go on as long as you want. What I want to talk about is after our most recent viewing, what do we think about this movie overall? To me, I think like the more I watch this movie, the more I love it, and it makes me so mad that I missed it at the theater, because I was sort of I was kind of like a hater like Vince, like I just like Timothy Dalton, and I didn't want him to go. So as much as I never had anything against Pierce, but I still kind of was. I like that John Glenn era, and there was this new fancy shiny new era of Bond, and I kind of wasn't super into it. And I don't know why not, because everything about it's awesome. Like, I'll take this thing over Spectre or Skyfall any day. Like, there's nothing about those movies I like more than this movie. And so, man, the more I watch this, the more I like it. Of course, it's got problems. Like I said, the General Chang thing's kind of unforgivable. And the way they cut out the reason why they got that magician guy, they didn't even have him do his card tricks. But I mean, that's stuff you wouldn't know unless you know behind the scenes stuff. So I don't want to judge the movie on that alone. But man, just watching this again, it just has so many homages to the old movies. Like, it celebrates the old movies without copying it completely. Like, it has so many nods to like Spy Who Loved Me, Thunderball. Like I said, with the Hugh Grant, the Red Grant part, with Kaufman. So many, and the music in this, what a blessing it is to have David Arnold on this instead of your boy Eric Serra. Like, this is like night and day, the soundtrack. This is just like David Arnold's like John Barry 2.0, and he brings it up like to the modern day, like all of the style of the music, but it still feels very, very John Barry. Yeah, it's like a typical shiny 90s action movie, but it's a Bond movie. And then not only that, but I think Pierce is so awesome in this. He almost, like, they were taking a lot from the pages of the Fleming novels, just especially that scene with Paris where he's sitting in his room waiting for her and he's drinking. It kind of reminded me of from Rush or from Dr. No when he's waiting for Dent to come in to kill him. So pretty much this movie is really gone up for me over the years. Like I say, the Judi Dench is awesome in it. I like the villain. Like I say, maybe the henchman or maybe so, but I mean, I'll take him. What we got is awesome. But what do you guys think about it? About after your most recent viewing?
I think that's a great summary for me. Like I said at the beginning, I think it's just a really entertaining movie. If you like action movies, you'll probably enjoy it. If you like Bond movies, it's probably kind of mid-range overall. But if you don't take it too seriously, I think you'd really enjoy it. And I agree with you about it just being more entertaining than something like Skyfall or Spectre. I like those too, but I don't feel happy after I watch a Daniel Craig film. Let's put it that way. I watch a movie like this, I have a smile on my face at the end of it. That's. And I like Daniel Craig's movies, but it's a different kind of vibe. So and I agree with you. Like the more that I see it, the more I feel like I like it more each time. It would seem, and let's just say it's got the best end song of any of them. By far.
True. I forgot to mention that.
Not even close. So, yeah.
How about you, Thumbs? Any new thoughts on it? And feel free to say anything I forgot to mention or anything that's on your mind.
Or disagree with us entirely.
I agree with everything that Tylord and Wubs said. All right. That's it. No, just kidding.
My boy.
I guess I might do a quick summary, just like things I might have some pet peeves, but things I really loved about it, and then maybe just add some stuff that maybe I forgot to mention. So let me get the two nitpicks out of the way, or gripes, however you want. It was just really the running time of the movie. Like I thought it was a little bit short. It was definitely shorter than GoldenEye. It was about 15 minutes shorter.
Oh, wow.
And I think this movie would have benefited more if it was like 10, 15 minutes longer. And I just thought the final 20 or so minutes weren't that great for me. And other than that, like I think the theme of like technology and media, especially like when Elliot says, it's funny when he says magazines, 'cause I'm like, do we read magazines anymore? But if you think about it though, now we got TikTok, we got mobile phones, it's technology has really evolved. So it would be interesting if you had like an Elliot Carver type as a villain. And I just like how he's so quick, like manipulative on if he knows like the dirt on everybody, it's I just thought that was really clever. I think that that holds up very well today, especially the media. I don't mean I just think that's a theme. That's all. I don't mean to like dive too deep into that subject. I love when Bond is like a banker, and then he's just like disguises himself as a banker, and I just love how he told Elliot off at the party. Well, because he's like, well, what about manipulation of information? And then you can see Elliot gets really annoyed.
Oh, yes, I love that. Yeah, anytime Bond is in a position like that, like undercover and irritating the villain and being a thorn in their side, it's so awesome.
It was one of my favorite scenes. And it shows that you don't really need action all the time. You can just have really good dialogue like that. 3 amazing set pieces in this movie. So I saw this again on an iPad. Like a 13-inch iPad, and I was like, man, this would be nice if I would have seen us on a bigger TV or the movie theater, because the opening scene is still impressive. The car scene with the tablet touchscreen and then the motorcycle, all phenomenal action scenes. Like even today, those scenes really hold up very well. Up really well. Maybe the beginning not as much, but the car scene and the motorcycle hold up very well. Anything else? Okay, the music. I know like it could be a little bit cliche to use the main theme, but I love it. I love when movies do that. Like, why not? You have a main theme. It's not afraid to use it.
It's not like
it does use it.
it's not like damn Spectre or Skyfall when they don't even want to use it. I don't know if that has to do with Monty Norman or they just trying to. We didn't want to overuse the Bond theme. Yeah, but I love hearing it in that movie, like you say.
And you could actually hear it with the guitar, like it was originally, right? So that was kind of cool. My dad commented on that.
It had a little bit of the old school, like the 1960s version in there.
Oh yeah, that guitar thing is awesome. Yeah.
So just two quick things. I guess with the humor, I thought it was pretty clever. Like when they're in Wayland's hideout, and her place is kind of like Q's place in a way, with all like the gadgets and stuff. I thought that was really cool to kind of take the time to have like that humor. And one other thing is with that car scene with Bond. I mean, come on, Bond. Like there are people like that car almost actually hit some real life people there.
I always think that every time every time I watch it, I think, wow, what if he killed someone?
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, darn. And I guess General Chang. I guess we'll see him in the director's cut. I guess. But yeah, other than that, like if you're a James Bond fan, I think this is it's a solid movie. Like I know like I gave some gripes, but I enjoyed it though. The reason why I said I watched the first half is because I watch it. Sometimes I take a pause just for like I just do that for all the movies in general, and then I watch the second half, and it went by pretty fast. And I'm gonna watch this again. Like
right on.
But still the last despite all that, it's a fun movie.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's all for me.
Excellent. I thought we'd have some more gripes. Anyway.
Well, that was it for me. I guess for gripes, just those two big gripes. That's it.
Okay.
I know I didn't really like live up to the gripe thing, but.
Good.
To be fair though, if you say you wish the film would have been 10-15 minutes longer, that's really a good sign of an interesting movie. If you wish it had been a little bit longer, not shorter.
That's true.
Oh God, I wish it finished half an hour early or something. So that's cool.
What about you, Dave? What are your thoughts?
It's always been like a top tier Bond movie for me. It's in my top 5. And
wow!
I've always just really rated this movie. I've always just thought it was really solid. I love the general storyline. The David Arnold score is good. I like what we said about the car, even though the car is quote unquote a boring, ordinary car. The car part sequence is amazing, and Michelle Yeoh, Terry Archer. There's very few things that I don't like about this movie. And I've just thought about something just as you guys were talking. But was it meant to be called Tomorrow Never Lies?
Yeah.
Was that the original title? I don't know if that's like an urban legend or I imagined that or something.
No,
it was like
I remember reading that, or maybe I heard Calvin Dyson mention it.
Because and I'm glad as well you mentioned Calvin Dyson because I feel like there's certain YouTubers, and Calvin Dyson's one, and David Zawitsky's another, where their Bond videos are so watchable, and especially I like David Zawitsky, but Calvin Dyson's such a watchable YouTuber. Like even if he's just doing like an unboxing video of like trading cards or something, it's like I can just watch that guy for hours and hours. But to go back to the original point, I've always liked this movie. Like I say, if obviously I think with Bond, I think people's tastes vary, and I think mine are all over the place because they're like Never Say Never Again. I love Live and Let Die. I love Diamonds Are Forever and stuff like that. So, but I've always rated this movie. I think it's just a really I personally really like it, but I don't know where anybody could say it's a bad James Bond movie. To me, it's just a good movie. Like, it's a good movie and it's a good James Bond movie.
Yeah, I guess if I had to give a score rating, I think for me, from 1 to 10, if I had to do a rating scale like that, I'll give it like a 7.5.
That seems fair to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't follow that rating at all. That seems pretty fair to me.
I feel like a jerk now, Dave, for saying like it's not like top tier. You're saying it's like one of your top 5. That's kind of awesome. I'm glad you, like that's very cool.
Yeah, I'm glad. I didn't realize this movie. Cool. I think that's cool. I didn't realize. I thought this one was kind of universally liked, but I've been hearing a lot of hate about it. Like more than Thumb, a lot more than Thumb.
Oh yeah. A lot of people don't like it very much. You know.
Yeah.
They don't like Die Another Day.
Universal hate though. Yeah. Like what are some of the gripes that people are having? Like
I think they don't like Elliot Carver and. What?
I think he's a perfect Bond villain. I think he fits that Bond type.
Well, what other gripes? It's kind of like rushed, I guess. I think people get on this kick where they hear about the behind-the-scenes stories, how it's like really a pain to make this movie, and then they go, "Oh, this movie was a what do you call it? A production nightmare. This movie sucks." You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think part of it is it's just like I said at the beginning, it's not GoldenEye.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing was gonna be GoldenEye.
Yeah, that could be it. It's hard to follow that up.
Well, that's why it's interesting because like, so Dave, for you probably put this top 5. Is GoldenEye in your top 5?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Ooh, is it? Do you know what though? It's not. Really interesting, but really interesting about GoldenEye though. That's one of them films where I didn't see it at the cinema. No idea why. Anytime I've seen it, I really enjoy that movie. I've sort of played the video game a little bit, but I don't know why. GoldenEye, I don't revisit that film very often, and there's no real reason why. Again, it's not a bad movie. I think it's a perfectly fine movie, but it's just not. It's not. I don't think I might even in my top 10, which is probably really bad.
Wow.
It's because you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to hear that Eric Serra music all the time. That's why you don't watch it.
I think I said before that I actually do kind of like that score.
Yeah, I know.
Like to me, I think it's one of them scores where I think if you just describe it or just if you play too many little sections of it, be like, is that the score to a James Bond movie?
Yes,
but it kind of works, you know.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much I liked it until I heard when I was watching The Fifth Element and Eric Serra did that, and I was listening to the score. I go, "Whoa, this score sounds like GoldenEye. This is awesome!"
Yeah, Fifth Element felt like a James Bond movie. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
I love that movie.
Yeah, that guy might be a Bond fan. What's that French guy? Isn't he like a Bond fan?
Luc Besson.
Yeah, isn't he a Bond fan or no?
I think he might be. Yeah. That's always one film though as well. Again, because we have this thing in the UK called National Cinema Day, where you can go to the cinema like for basically nothing. And I saw Fifth Element and I remember thinking, I don't really like it that much, but I always feel like I should revisit that more really.
Yeah, we're getting off subject, but that's another one kind of like like Thumb's Blade Runner. It took me a while. Like the first time I saw Fifth Element, I fell asleep. Like this movie looks cool, but I just can't get into it. But then, like if it's on TV, I'll watch it. I go, wow, this is, and I'm up to the point now where I really like Fifth Element. Yeah.
I think it's funny about certain films though that like, and I think that's interesting about like any kind of media in general, but especially like movies and music that where you can watch a film once and think, I'm not that bothered about it, and then you watch it a couple more times and it's like it's a totally different film. You think, wow, I completely different, totally different viewpoints on it.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Well, I guess before we wrap it up, do you guys have anything you want to plug? Any projects you're working on? I'll start. Wubs, you got anything, Wubs, or no?
There's nothing currently happening now. I have several episodes in the backlog that I just haven't gotten to yet. I did one with Dave, and I did one with Omega.
Cool. I can't wait.
All of that stuff will eventually get released. I'm just very busy these days.
Yeah,
so
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
How about you, Thumb? You got any projects or any games you're working on?
Yeah, I know there's a couple challenges that results in the community that might come out, like Waves and Games.
Yeah.
Super Castlevania 4 should be out in maybe a week or so.
Oh, okay.
So I did that, and then I also did Alpha Nerds challenge. So that should be out shortly. I know he has another challenge.
Yeah.
So
I'll be taking part in that new challenge. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because like Need for Speed is one of the games, and like I know like Need for Speed, they don't mind the cars being all dinged up or stuff. So that kind of brought me back to James Bond a little bit, because those cars do have a James Bond feel, like the Aston Martins and stuff. Yeah. And I guess for me, Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I guess just those challenges for the most part, and I would like to start doing reviews myself on this other movies too. Yeah. Like, because I love movies and stuff. So like sometimes I do a quick thought writing on some stuff and like some journaling, but then I just do a quick review on something. And sometimes it's cool to do like a podcast stuff on like movies that you like. Yeah. And maybe compare it to the video game, like Jaws. Yeah. Like I think it would be cool to like do a movie review of Jaws and then like do a review of the game or a playthrough of the game.
Yeah. I would love listening to that if you did that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's not bad.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, should we good?
Yeah. What about you, Dave? You got anything you're working on?
Well, what we and mate were literally talking about this afternoon about doing a video about, and I've been knocking around this idea for years, but and I feel like nobody's ever mentioned this, and I'm sure they must have done because it seems almost so quote unquote obvious. But in the Star Wars movies, anytime somebody says "I promise," it comes true. Like there's like the
really?
And I feel like that it's one of those things where I'm sure there must be another YouTube video about it where, like, because it happens, especially in the George Lucas ones, where someone will say something, I promise, and then eventually it will happen in the movies. But I feel like nobody's done a video about that, so I'm dead tempted to do a video about that. And I've been on. There's this band that was big in the '80s called Then Jericho. And I've been listening to loads of their songs recently, and I've been really wanting to get back into writing some lyrics or try and do some riffs on my bass guitar and stuff. So I want to try either do that Star Wars video or write some lyrics.
Oh, excellent! Yeah,
those sound good to me. That would be great.
Well, no, nice one, cheers.
Yeah, excellent. Didn't Uncle Owen say, "I promise you can join the academy next year"?
Yep.
Yeah, he does. Thinking about it, he does say that. Yeah.
He didn't say promise. He said he could go. He didn't say.
Oh, he doesn't say promise. Okay, I can't remember exactly. I know all your friends are going. You can go next year. I thought he said I promise. Okay, maybe he does.
Yeah.
I think the
theory was nearly blown out the water there.
Yeah. The what?
You promised him last year.
Yeah.
I think she said something. Like,
oh
just one more season.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you might be right there as well. I heard as well somebody mentioned something once, and I heard this theory, and as soon as I heard it, I thought, oh, it must be true. Yeah. And then I'm sure I've watched the films, and it's not true. Yeah. Is that Princess Leia never misses when she shoots at something, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely true. And I'm sure I've watched it and thinking, no, she does miss occasionally.
Yeah, most of she's got at least 50-50.
It must be close.
Yeah.
It's all because of the Force. That's why the Force energy is with them. And the Stormtroopers, they don't have the Force energy. So that's why they can't hit the backside of the barn.
That's a good point. Well, me and my friend were talking about this as well yesterday. And I don't know many people have ever mentioned this, but when in Empire Strikes Back, when Luke lands on Dagobah and he lands right next to Yoda's house, what were the chances of that? I mean,
that's my little nitpick of the whole Star Wars movies. I love the Star Wars, but it's like it's like, okay, let's just take the ship. Oh, we're here. Like every planet you go to, you just run into the person within minutes. You know, it's like, yeah, like, you know, this is very convenient.
Yeah. I love it.
It's a whole planet, you know what I mean? It's a gigantic planet. So it's just boggles my mind sometimes.
I'm pretty sure it was either Kenobi or the Force, like just drew to that spot.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and then the other thing, I remember my algebra teacher was really irritated by this in all the Star Trek and Star Wars. The ships, there's no up and down in space, but the ships are always on the same, like, they're always facing each other, like straight up and everything. They're not like coming at each other from weird different angles.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I always thought it was interesting. Only more recently, I've thought we see like the Millennium Falcon like flying upside down, and it looks really, really cool. You're thinking, wow, imagine being in that ship when it's doing that. And it's just like, oh my god.
And there's no restrooms in these ships too.
Is that true?
There's no restroom in the Millennium Falcon.
Maybe when they only drink that blue milk, they don't have to go to the bathroom.
Well, I still never know it, but I've literally heard 50-50 either way. In the Alfred Hitchcock film Psycho, it's the first film where you see a toilet being flushed, and I always feel like that can't be true, and at the same time I feel like you don't really ever see people go to the toilet very much in movies, full stop.
Excellent. Yeah.
Are you doing Goldeneye?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. We brought it right back around.
Oh, yeah, that must be that's probably the only, there might be one in Living Daylights.
Right.
Yeah, there's only two I can think of. Anyway, you got anything else to say about toilets or Star Wars, Wubs?
You expect me to talk more?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die!
Well done, boys. Another successful mission. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this debriefing, please like and share it with your friends.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.